in a grave and bury him.
Oh, we can do that afterwards. I'm saying no. We'll bury him later.
Astra wants to remind us that this is not a porn stream.
Exactly.
Yes.
Says the person who makes toys.
Here's the thing. If I get paid enough money, and there is a number.
There is a number.
There is a number. If I get paid enough money, I will move platforms and make this a very different campaign.
I'm letting
She's right. V and Amira are the least lewd here. You can create the toys and not be lewd about it. She's got it.
Yeah, speaking to the love goddess character in this situation. Yes,
Or in
Bubbles.
terms of Violet and no social qualms with
Okay,
being
Bubbles. Be safe, okay? Be careful.
What are you doing?
Ooh.
Taking a shower.
Hold on. Yes, Megan?
Yes.
Vanessa said, who was the one to thirst after Naked Down? Not V and Amira.
First of all, Violet hadn't seen very many naked men, because men were not a thing as in your dog form. Second of all, we have just crossed the threshold with Violet. A very long anticipated threshold, so uncomfortability around naked men is a thing. Not gonna lie.
Oh, what are you doing?
I think that's enough of a pre-stream. So welcome everybody to Season 2 of Forgotten Genesis, Session 19. Next week we'll get to Session 20, assuming nothing bad happens.
Thank you. Everybody must do it now.
So, in an effort, of course, to earn an inspiration die around the would-be table, this digital Discord call, who would like to start with a recap of last week's session?
We all met Wilsoni.
Yes.
I remember that very, very proud. But he's also my deity, so it would make sense that that would be like, huh, there's my highlight.
The fourth wall saved our lives.
We are eternally grateful. V and Amir are heavily contemplating some team members' choices.
We are traveling up the tower to see the spirit of discordance.
Correction.
And I'm Paystick.
You have traveled up the tower.
Traveled up the tower.
Yeah, it gives Grandpa some real we're inside something's body vibes.
Inside the body vibes.
And I'm his.
The tower is the Star Scourge. We're in its intestines. What's Star Scourge? We're going to go talk to the dude.
I don't know what it is.
The dude, allow me to rewrite the plot twist and just make the radio demon the Big Lebowski. Okay, no.
That's a dude. We do know what it is. Amira got a nat 20. Was this after I left?
Yes, but
Time
we
for
were
my
not
Jeff
made
Bridges
aware
impression.
by Finestra what it was.
Nobody.
Finestra didn't say nothing.
Vanessa said nothing. Amira said nothing.
I'm sorry for the crinkly clink. Let me mute myself.
I think my headset recharged enough.
I was just trying to fold up the bag.
R.I.P. net. Yeah, you gotta actually tell us, because otherwise we don't know. All we're gonna do is, you good, bruh? Good? Good, bruh?
Yeah.
It just says Amira did that.
Oh, then we got that. I wasn't here. That's my
It was
fault.
also very late.
Yes. That's a fairly solid recollection of events. Now, as mentioned...
Angel and Nicodemus are tackling a baby on the ceiling.
Yep, which we're going to get to. Now, as mentioned last week, we are going to have a set goal that is the planned time around which to end the session. It's going to be planned to end around 11:30 Mountain Standard Time or 12:30 Central Time at the absolute latest. We'll see how it goes.
Why did
Of course. Plans have a thing and a way about them. In Dungeons and Dragons, execution does not always survive intention. So, yes. As the music, or at least the music that's playing over stream, fits the situation, or fits this particular scenario, we are not currently in the abyss with the rest of the party. We are on the world of Zeria, in its Underdark, in an equivalent location underneath the seas of Cadia, centered on a city known as Sharni. Zooming into the sort of midway upper reaches of the literal four-step structure of the city. On the third step, we find what was previously known as Mochizuki Manor, now known as Mochizuki Castle or Mochizuki Keep. We find Angel and her chosen life companion Nicodemus. Also, hello, hobbits and Isengods. Been a while. My God, been following for 5 fucking years. Holy shit. Elder Scrolls music? Yes, it is indeed.
I'm gonna mute. I could still hear everything, so technically I'm still here. I just got a couple things. I need to go do.
Speaking of muted and mouthing,
I'm right here. I'm right here.
there was an eclectic pair of characters that we did just zoom in on. So, Angel,
Okay.
what do you find yourself doing here in Sharni?
We have just solved the mithril dragon problem. We let Grandma kind of handle it, considering she can shut down the walk through different pathways.
Yes, in the interim of time spent by your party going through the abyss, you have done some child taming. Going straight from dealing with dark archfey to child taming, it's a hell of a switch in mood, frankly.
So, I have a question. With Angel dealing with a bunch of, which we discussed, her dealing with a bunch of like incoming invitations and different people, invitations and people traveling to this space. Would there be delegates traveling to this space at this point?
On occasion, you do get delegates. As far as any that are immediately on their way or expected to be around in any immediate timeline or future, you haven't gotten that information yet. That said, brain just turned off real hard on the name of your tiefling bartender sister.
Lilin,
Ellen.
Lilin. Holy shit. All right.
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Lilin does inform you that your, pile of fan mail has grown quite significantly in the time that you've been gone. Your increase in
Sure.
status has seemingly bolstered your mysticism for those who are fans of you in your previously actively practiced profession.
Oh, awesome. So, Ada's gonna look over at Lillian and says, are any of them not safe? Considering my older profession and my actual still set of profession as far as this.
Some of them smell
Safety.
questionable, but unsafe by any means, no.
Okay, good.
That pile has turned into a rather putrid miasma of choice perfumes and colognes. Sprayed and fritzed and flicked upon the pages papyrus and pine.
I'm gonna summon Gabrielle out of the necklace to help me go through some of these requests. Because Gabrielle likes to look at all the different types of paper. Her obsession is paper.
What is it?
She's 11.
And
Oh no, she's 14.
yeah,
Gabrielle's like 14 now.
and that response is
No, she's
groggy.
16.
That response is groggy.
What is it?
Good morning. No, she's now 16. She was 14 in that last episode.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'll put a silver in the swear jar.
You're lucky it's not a gold.
Was gold.
Sorry.
Okay, why have you woken me up?
I guess you don't want to go through these different types of papers from different, parts of the world.
No, you could have just said you woke me up because there was paper to go through.
Yeah,
All I
a
was
lot
looking
of
for
it.
was a reason, not a sassy
Well,
retort.
you gave me sass? You give your mom sass, your sass, mom's letting you sass back.
I
Sassy?
am drowsy, mama. What are you mouthing? Are you trying to have some unseen conversation with Dad?
No. Mom's just singing in her head, as usual. I've got a new set to practice.
Which letter set is this?
This is diplomatic. We gotta decide which parties we're going to. If we're
Oh,
going to.
no. That pile that's not the diplomatic pile. That's the obsessive
Where's the diplomatic
fan
pile? Yes, I need the other one.
The diplomatic pile is not a pile. It is a carefully
mountain?
organized stack. And it's not a mountain either.
Thank God.
The thing about diplomacy is that it comes from leaders, usually of respectable and established regions. Therefore, the scale, frequency, and quantity of received letters are much smaller, especially since they have to go through certain screenings before they even reach this door. So,
Well, I'm going to go through at least half of the fan mail. Is any of it important?
scanning for anything of intrigue or strangeness or usefulness.
Mm-hmm. What kind of information I can get?
Okay. Let me see here. I want you to go ahead and give me an investigation check just to see if there's anything interesting in there. Is this
There
the
we
right
go.
notebook? Better be. Yes, it is. Okay.
+18 +3. No, plus. So now we've leveled up. It's a +4.
Okay. Plus 4 to your investigation, so it's what total?
It would be a total of 22.
Okay. While this is
Sure.
squarely sorted
Information.
into the fan mail pile, it does strike you as a little different, as it doesn't really have the same simplicity as a commoner. It doesn't have that aroma of, a choice expressant having been sprayed onto it. It's very well put together. It is somewhat formal, not necessarily in the highest of class sense, but in sort of the very sort of creative working man's, very carefully and deliberately designed. This is the type of letterwork and seal work that you would expect to see from an entertainer, with that kind of carefulness.
Is there any warning on it?
No warning, as it seems to have, at least in an arcane sense, made its way past the screening process to even have made it into this building. But to that end, you find a small little symbol that you haven't seen in a little over 2 years. Symbol with a sort of mixed wind and wave, with a sort of motley, viciously cast aside in the small bit of symbolism. It's a little overly designed for a stamp. This is one of the many symbols to indicate the Theater of Revelry. The same theater that you and the first incarnation of Zavorsazor were commissioned by to find, at the very least, a little girl named Azana, and that is what spilled into finding a lot more children, and a very corrupt captain of the guard. They were very, very thankful when that mission was finished. Did mention at some point they'd like to talk again.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, but my anxiety is killing me. Can someone respond to me in general? Please,
hold on.
Thanks.
We're in Sharni with Angel. I wasn't near my computer to be the person who reads. Well, right now, Vinestra,
I
it's
figured-
material plane shit.
Yeah, I figured that someone would, there's 8 of you in there. I figured someone would have seen.
Well, we were talking a lot when we started. I'm sorry.
Right. I'll see y'all later then.
Okay.
Relax. We won't start that bit.
Take
without
your
you.
time. We won't start it without you.
Yeah, it was in the interest of the fact that Brick was arriving late that we were starting with this bit. So yeah, you hadn't really
Will you
heard...
message that to him, please?
If
so you
someone
won't
would like
stress
to
out.
do that, just because I'm
Thank you, Amber.
looking at
Go ahead.
really
Yeah,
old
looking at
notes.
notes.
I got it.
So, Revelry.
Yeah, Theater of Revelry. They mentioned again, way back then, that they wanted to talk again at some point. You'd never really heard back from them after then, aside from, a couple of minor encounters with Izana herself on the rare occasion. And that was even before this major 2-year gap. There was significant silence in that interim period. It's not like they, yeah, you've encountered them maybe once or twice since, so... Do you open the letter, or do you just kind of stare at the envelope?
I open it. I thought that was what I was doing, opening it.
Oh.
I'm reading it.
Okay. Opening the letter, what immediately spills forth is an unfortunate amount of glitter.
Okay.
Oh my god, you got a glitter bomb in the mail.
And and folded within seems to be sort of a card or pamphlet as you pull it out, and you unfold it into a slowly 5-fold enlarged piece of paper. Definitely more of a pamphlet, or perhaps even a flyer.
Okay. I'm going to read this.
You
read
see it's this sort of aged advertisement flyer, which is weather beaten, kind of tossed, turned, crumpled. It's the same advertising flyer that they used back when they were in Green Eye Crossing. The same exact one for the same show. And on the faded paper, and even to the point where you can see there is some chemical residue on the actual flyer itself, which you and your use for torture tools and other things. And in the profession that you learned with Urkbach, you know that this is something that's used to fade ink, to try and just do something as simple as reuse something that was already written on.
Okay.
But
If I remember that we saw them again in the city that we went to that we saved.
Briefly in Merkest, yes.
No, not Merkest. The city that we saved the deep.
They weren't in that underwater city, no.
No, Isana was. Not the underwater city, the city that was
the one that was
where Trent went back to. Griffin's brother lived there.
Right, yeah, oh yeah. Over in
Oh yeah, he does have a brother named
We
Trent.
saw
You
his.
confused me.
No, Trent was not his brother's name.
Oh.
Vasily.
What?
Plateau City.
I'm confused.
It's the city where he went back, and then we killed Trent underneath that city.
Oh, Trenton, the bad. Oh,
the jerk face.
Yeah. You did encounter her and Vasily. That was the previous encounter that you'd had. And what you're presented with is it's very, very good and very almost overzealously ostentatious handwriting. And what it reads is, let me see here. I hope this letter finds you well, Miss Whitehorn. It has been long since we last had a chance to speak or entreat upon each other. A little over 2 years to my recollection. I have tried to send letters since, but only to previous establishments at which you had been rumored to work. And most all of them had been, at least based on reports from many of our little ears, absconded with by would-be fans of yours. So, after much digging and much research, and then no small amount of boisterous news, it seems that you and your kin rose to a position of power, and so it was much, much easier to get this letter sent out. We, in the Theater of Revelry, are intent actually on making our way to your home city. We understand in sending this letter that you may have means of arcane response. However, in the meantime, we have also sent out letters to any alternate officials within your city that might preside over opening of theater establishments and auditoriums, things of the like, to see if we can set up something fun in your city. Just as a chance to, of course, entertain your folks. It would be our first visit into the Underdark, and also perhaps express a more personal thanks than we had opportunity to last. I do apologize if the nature of this written letter seems informal, but it was on short notice after a great many far more formal letters than this have since been stolen. Again, I hope this letter finds you well. Gianna Felment.
At this point, she yells for Tansy and Griffin.
You would know Gianna Felment to be, of course, the mother of, well, the mother of Azana.
Griffin is the one who knows what the current standings are in the city. I have him running half of the city stuff while I'm out of town.
What's up? What do you need? What do you
Question.
need? What do you need? Sorry.
Thank you for taking over for the last couple of weeks. I I apologize for it's the Feywild. Can't deal with a day without feeling like you're gone for a week.
Yeah, I know. It's anyway.
So, with you and Tansy, did you guys get letters?
Us directly?
That she says she sent them to the officials, which would include you.
Oh, wait, who? What do you think? You gotta be more specific.
Gianna.
We've been getting a lot of
Gianna.
Gianna who? There's a couple of Giannas.
It's the Revelry Theater group.
Felmont. Okay, Gianna. Okay, yeah. Yeah, they sent us a letter about 2 days ago, asking about any available establishments for entreated entertainment of a sort of classic drama crew, to provide entertainment to maybe a township within the city, a subsected neighborhood, or perhaps even on a larger scale. They started with the small negotiations first, of course, within the letter, because they're not, they're not a highly famous gathering of entertainers. But yeah, we got a letter.
You know what the biggest theater space is going to be here in the castle, right? We haven't built a theater center yet. We demolished the Coliseum area.
This is a relatively small scale crew.
We could offer them the secondary space in the front.
You did mention you recognize them, so it doesn't shock me that you want to give them a big upgrade like that, but...
Well, it's not a big upgrade. It also gives us the revenue. We're going to need it to actually back my travel for the next couple of months.
You need additional revenue?
She gets close to her brother. I have to appease different fashions, different people, different delegates. You see that other stack? I haven't gone through that stack yet.
Yeah, you're just in the fan mail right now.
So I literally have to have revenue coming in constantly. That's why I've done 3 shows a week for the last couple of months.
Sure.
We moved from 1 day a week to 3 shows a week.
Okay, so do you want me to help set up some arrangements for them?
I would let them take the metro on the way here.
Yeah, given their status, travel here is not likely to be easy. I could send out means for an escort if that...
Well, the secondary city we're connected to on the outside, that way they don't have to necessarily... We have that the stations up here on the 3rd level at the moment. We moved it. We made one for each level of our area.
Right.
There's a reason we made it so the black market would have better travel, and we even built support beams for the black market so it wouldn't come through the ceiling the last time with the spider. That was an insanity day. You see Angel's eyes flicker.
Okay, that's a little off the point. Do you want me to arrange escort and transport for these folks?
Just please, as quickly as possible.
Quickly?
They have a... Let me put it to you this way. In 1 week, 6 of their kids disappeared. I don't get it past them to possibly almost get themselves killed by ropers on the way here. They don't have good track record.
Okay, quick travel or quick arrival? Because that's a little... let me clarify. Do you want them here soon, or do you want just as we arrange travel means for that, whenever that ends up being scheduled out, that they're able to move quickly here?
Let me read through the secondary pile. Hold on.
Your intended phrasing is a little bit...
I know. It'll be judged on the other stack. Just give me a second. She pulls up the other stack and goes
Okay.
through and see how
Let me write this
many.
down as optional, incomplete, task-based, and tentative on
No.
other factors.
It is just tentative on the other list. Give me a minute.
Okay.
She opens up the secondary set of mail as quickly as possible, considering that was the only really important piece of mail she found in that stack provided.
Yeah. Going through the sort of delegation letters, you find errant love letters from even just places of relative power, even in Sharni. You find entreating suitor letters from some nearby, like smaller Underdark city-states. Without much complications, it seems it was sent anonymously, and these are especially the ones that smell the strongest of, given that it's the Underdark fungus-based perfumes. And they don't really seem to have much rank or much pretense or anything else like that really heavily established or set for them. However, then you finally reach a letter which oddly smells kind of nice. It has this odd floral aroma to it, which is this sort of best way to put it would be sort of a mix of the scent of strong saffron and almost like strong saffron, sandalwood, and rose hips.
Don't hate this smell. She opens the letter.
Well, and even before opening the letter, you do notice the texture of the paper. It is fungal based, as much of the other Underdark, parchment and whatnot is, but it is drier. There's a roughness to it, almost a graininess, and usually funguses like this, at least when it concerns the Underdark, are definitely native more so to the more arid locations down here, which means, most likely this is what would for the Underdark be considered a desert, where it most likely would have been sourced from.
Okay.
There's also no seals, no insignia, nothing. But then there is that slight lift to the paper when you see when you feel along the fold of the actual envelope. That gives off the indication of invisible ink. Invisible ink seals are not horribly uncommon in the Underdark, at least among elite-classed folk. But usually if it is placed, it is meant to be done so that it gets ignored by couriers.
I'm going to use, which I have a set of goggles that allow me to see invisibility stuff. So. That was one of the last things I got from the other quest that we.
Yeah.
Like Timora, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you put on those goggles to go ahead and take a look at the ink, you see now glowing brightly in this sort of off bioluminescent orange underneath that light, which would give possibly further hints toward the breed of mushroom used to make this ink. This bat-like insignia. It's a basic cave-dwelling creature, but usually when placed in this context, and especially when clutching a bundle of arrows. Well,
What does it say?
opening the letter, what does it say? It's an off dialect of Undercommon that you have to kind of, even just looking at it, readjust for a moment to account for the differences in tenses and the sort of contextual phrases and wordings. But as you are able to quickly piece together how it translates, Madam Lord Mochizuki. We of the Sanded Clutch do request audience in your city of Sharni under the prospect of suitorship and discussion of your potential engagements of romanticism or bondings of business and strategy for the sake of both of our peoples and the advantages of our trades. You may have a magical representative that we are certain may be at your disposal. Cast sending to our messaging vizier, Retizin Ven Teash. About your response. We are willing to negotiate date, time, and location, while preferably we present this offer to be met in your city, should you wish to make the voyage. You may make your way in our direction.
Why did I just get the ick from that letter?
Signed, Baron of Zankak.
Angel starts laughing at the end of the name.
I really need to proofread the names that I give places.
But
Zankak!
Xanchach.
it sounds like if you say it the right way, it sounds like you're... Anyway, why did I instinctively just get the ick from that letter?
Do I need to add umlauts and call it Zankak?
Probably.
Yes. Otherwise, it will be a non-stop.
Zankak. It would be literally Angel trying not to laugh the entire time she's talking to a diplomat.
Fine, I'm taking this opportunity to retcon my own lore, and it is now Zankak.
Thank you.
Sounds like pancake. Pancake sounds better.
I'm okay with pancake. Pancake doesn't make me want to literally giggle because it's hilarious.
I'm saying it sounds like he's saying pancake, so that's better. Look, you got a couple of people in here who have auditory processing issues. We're gonna find dick jokes and everything.
Zenkosh would have been a better name, to be honest. It wouldn't have been cock. Sorry, it's literally Zenkak.
I'm gonna find something to write that down on.
You guys,
Zenkash, that sounds a little close to Zadash, and I don't wanna run on that parade.
Joe, Frick will be here either leaving or possibly around 7 or 9:30ish.
It's okay.
I don't know if it's just letting you know. That's what he said.
Just take your time, be safe. So take time, be safe.
Okay. No rush, dude. Just safety. Safety's number one priority.
First, please.
Seriously, Megan could very easily have a lot to do with just the mirror dragon children alone.
No. We handled that.
Oh, right.
Grandma handled that. I didn't handle it at all. They got lost in the house and they had to suffer.
And
so they learned not to do that.
And along came a sand child to sand blast their abilities into oblivion.
I literally have a sand dragon's like this big now.
Yeah. Zenkash, their insignia is a sand bat with arrows clutched in in one of its paws.
Okay. I'm going to take this scrying call. I would like you to move actually do it as quickly as possible because
I literally give him the complete context of that group and how they have almost gotten themselves killed so many times.
Romantic.
it's literally like-
Okay, discussion of suitors. This is
I'm not talking about the suitors. I'm talking about the revelry group. Move them as quickly as
right.
possible. They
Sorry.
have.
Yeah. When you
I'll
want me
handle
to
the
respond to
suitors.
this or get this responded to for you, because I imagine, given the context of large-scale political engagements, it might not be a good look if you, the leader, do a direct response. But who knows?
I do what I want.
All right.
Also, remember, I'm already technically owned as she pulls up her ring finger with tattoo. So,
Not Piper going to make a big stink about it anyway. Going, excuse me? I fucking married these two just to get them out of a suitor situation.
Which reminds me, you are actually back in Zaria, so I can give you a proper date for when is when at the moment.
so she looks over at
Because you went straight from
Griffin.
the Feywild into the Abyss, and that kind of fucked with when exactly it is now.
Griffin. I need you to do me a big favor and move that theater group as fast as possible. They have a horrible track record. I would like to remove all of said bad juju and have a good situation. I'm letting you know, there were a couple of stories where I heard as they were trying to get to Sharni, they broke 3 of their wagon wheels. I don't know how 3 of them was an option.
There it is. There we go. Move forward 2 years, that will change some astral events. Okay. So, that letter specifically was dated Valeran 4th. This letter, at least based on the date and based off of what you know the timing to be, arrived a little under 2 weeks ago. It is Valeran 16th.
Really? I will have to make this call now. We're a little behind. We're at least 2 weeks behind where I needed to be with this letter. So, can you do me a favor and move that family as quickly as possible? I don't trust their luck. I really don't.
Understood.
Even if you have to send Ezekrin or Lilin or one of the kids after him, I need them here as quickly as possible. And if I was going to send one of the kids after them, I would send, not right now. I want them to move here as fast as possible.
Understood. I'll figure it out. Maybe I can arrange a teleportation circle transport. That would be easy enough. I just wouldn't recommend kids jumping into that too easy. And your first teleportation experience is always going to be a rough one. You know what I mean? So yeah, and then
And just if we
teleportation,
can
because I
get
can
them
also
faster, at least
do
if we
expedited.
can move
Yeah.
them as far.
Yeah, sorry.
Yay.
Okay.
Well, if we're gonna do expedited, we need to do. I'm not moving the spider from over the city today.
No,
So-
no, I got it. I got it.
things are not going. Things are going well in the Feywild, so let's just take this in stride and try to handle some things we can handle on
Yeah.
our own before everybody gets home.
Oh, something of note to be aware of. Tomorrow is expected to be at least in this part of the ring, and it should be visible because the big asshole above the castle. Green meteor shower.
Ooh, great.
So, might mean good harvest, might mean
Isn't that normal
Plague.
for this to be? Is that the old version of what you're talking about? Considering there has been other discussions on that specific.
oh, this is
Wondering if it's
just a ring
phenomenal?
celestial event listed on the calendar. Green meteor shower means it could mean good harvest, could mean plague, could also mean nothing. What I do know is nature. It might mean some good things for nature enchantments. Makes me better.
Green meteor shower, yes. Oh my god, look at session art.
What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Let's not distract.
That's actually
Guys.
that's not far from the actual insignia for those guys. That's not far off at all.
Work.
Anyway,
Okay, yeah. So I'll arrange the transport. Do you want
Oh my god!
if we're doing normal traversal, 2 days, depending on where they are. If we're doing teleportation, I could have them here today. It's just, you know, gotta weigh certain risks and factors and see what all and who all they're taking with them. And we can figure that out.
also counseling for the children.
Gotta make sure everybody
I am
pees
not
before they
bringing the
step on the
counselor out. He's a
teleportation
little
circle.
bit crazy. Angel, it's where it was talked about with Angel. First time she ever did that was a vomiting and pee moment. Yeah.
I mean, if you're pregnant, that's probably a good idea.
She looks over at
You don't want to see infinity
I mean-
briefly while a cow turd's in front of your face.
I mean as quickly as possible, because that child literally had an arm removed. So I would prefer that not to be a repeat of that
Right.
situation.
Still need to arrange proper lodging and all that, so quickly as possible means we need to go through some paperwork first, and then, yeah.
Lodging is, I think we have the north wing that's open from that other group that left yesterday.
You want to do here in the
that,
in the castle?
I would prefer them here in the castle.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, just for legal, I'll write up a contract for them to follow just to make it not seem weird, and yeah, I'll get on it.
Oh god, paperwork.
I would have Charlotte help you with the paper choice.
I mean, paper is paper.
Charlotte and Gabriella like paper. They've been helping me with my paperwork for what, 8 months?
As Gabrielle's
Like
just
the
kind of
only thing that
obsessively
child
peeling
can
over
do
your fan mail
doesn't
pile, going through
involve
the, and
spinning
this
a
is
web or
papyrus paper. This is
tying up
mushroom paper.
numbers.
This is black mushroom paper. Wait, no, that's just old.
I have a question. Is she like, this one I'm gonna clean off? This one I'm gonna turn into part of a notebook?
That's
This one is.
as she scratches it, getting burned.
She knows exactly where I came from. She's like, nope.
That's
So,
skin parchment.
pardon?
Hold on. She scratches it. From hog hide. You're good. We're good.
Okay.
We almost had a red alert situation, my guys.
So I'm going to go ahead and make that scrying call with my
Although
scrying
Hog
orbs.
is potentially human analog, let me double check, see if there's any blemishes or, I don't know, tattoos on it.
Take it to Ezekran, he'll know what it is.
Okay,
You know you're
how can we
supposed-
guarantee he's not just going to eat the envelope?
He's not gonna eat the envelope because you're gonna tell him what it is. Because his job is Master of Whisperers right now.
Can I hand this to somebody else? I want to keep going through the pile.
Who do you usually hand it off to when you're not doing yours?
I don't know, doesn't Ezekran have groupies and gropies?
Well, she's not technically... You're gonna have to ring that bell that you have up there. She points at that tassel bell that she has up there at the top. You know, that's how she answers us. She doesn't like to answer anyone.
Fine.
She might be my cousin, but she's not smart.
She goes up and rings the bell. Okay, I'm going to set this aside just in case it is actually made of questionable material. I don't think so. It smells like pig, but for all I know,
It's
that could
not
just
a
mean it's guard skin.
Bad joke.
Is that a cop joke? Okay.
Technically.
Poor Crispy.
Anyway.
Crackling bangs.
So, she pulls out one of her sending scrolls and writes down the vizier's name.
All right.
I'm gonna have this conversation. Kids, remove yourself from the visual, as usual, please.
Sending doesn't have visuals.
I don't care. Last time they used a mirror with a sending back spell. I'm not having you in the visual. Don't need a target on your backs.
Fine.
So I write the vizier's name in the sending scroll, and I let him know that I have 25 words, right?
Correct.
Good evening. Good morning. This is Angel Mochizuki 6. Trying to get in contact with Zenkosh, the leader of Zenkosh, for a meeting of suitors. You can respond to this message. That's it. It's like, I'm not gonna make that any harder.
The vizier you are trying to contact died of a poisonous centipede bite. However, I am filling in for him. Official staff
Okay.
dying has gotten a little more frequent recently, unfortunately, but that is the nature of the job. Yes. I can send along any message to a good representative or would-be representative, as necessary. But I would like to know the nature of your response.
I can't respond to my mom message. It's kind of their sending scroll. She pulled out another scroll. She's just like, this is
Damn it.
so annoying. I understand that my dad makes these two scrolls.
The off-putting breathlessness
like,
of it
oh,
does
they suck.
indicate that it was still received by the person, but it seems detached enough. It felt detached enough and empty enough, like it was a corpse responding.
What? Did you just talk to the vizier's body?
Does that mean that I can talk to it? Possibly. Can you please tell me who I need to speak to? As she sends another scroll of sending.
Is that all
Can
you
reply to
send?
this message. Oh my god.
You pooping? No.
Yeah, you pooping?
It's literally
I
having a
did that
moment.
for my last times 3 days ago. No, you're supposed to be speaking to me, and I will be sending off your response. Now, is this you accepting the invitation, or wanting to negotiate its further terms? You have been unclear.
My ick senses are tingling.
I'm letting you know there's a secondary scroll. It says, I would like to speak to a living representative. You can reply to this message. Only in D&D. Only in D&D.
Takes a while. You swear you hear elevator music in the background. Hello. I'm the body dresser.
Hello.
The what?
Never worked with spells like this, but a corpse handed me a scroll. Who are you? What do you need?
I'm a warlord looking to speak with the representative who wanted to speak to me.
Takes about 5 minutes before you get another response. Right, so I've been informed of some further context. And I must say, just as a more pretense, undead representatives are just as capable as living ones.
It's the guy who's like, I'm gonna apologize to the AI so when they uprise, I don't die.
Plot twist, we already dealt with a couple of undead uprisings. We don't want to do it again. But I can send this off to someone of higher rank. I think our actually we should have a grand. I think the deacon's in. He's speaking aloud through the message. He's thinking aloud through the message spell.
As it cuts off, considering the sentence.
Word limit.
That would be, considering he's sending back to me, so literally going to... There's a moment of
Takes about 20 minutes. And you get a sending spell.
Long enough.
Is this the lady of
Oh my
the
God.
city of Sharni? If so, I have been instructed on the context and confines of response arrangements. And the spell expires. casting this spell. I do hate this spell.
Could be using a scry glass to talk to me right now.
It seems at least that this specific subsect of people don't have access to that equipment. Or at least seem not to.
Yo, boy.
It is unfortunate that your correspondence was set up with a vizier that has been made into a corpse as of 3 days ago. I'm going to see if I can commission or gain access to his orb. Given your correspond... Casting the spell a third time. Given your correspondence...
Did you see Angel, because it's a sending spell, knowing that she can put 25 words back to this thing is literally holding her.
And there are, in
Last
some
thing-
cases, more and less than 25 words that it's giving out. Like, there's some weird stretching of rules happening with whatever the hell this creature is on the other end. The accent alone indicates some kind of reptile folk. And you can feel the essence of the spell just hanging for a moment before it finally responds.
Okay.
The vizier had his scrying orb in his robes. They were not removed from his person, desiccated as he is. One moment. Before finally,
She pulls that
awkward
scrygrass
and
grass.
unpracticed visage of what appears to be a, admittedly, sort of Underdark variation on a Yuan-Ti pureblood. You can see the clear sort of elven serpentine features tracing across the skin, the slitted, predatory eyes, the sort of masculine physique, still wrapped in sort of the common dark wrappings of an Underdark dwelling individual in person, but there is clear architecture that you can even see behind him that is indicative of resources and structures that are heavily carved into the rock, and the rock itself is this sort of, even as far down here as the Underdark usually is, it's this sort of sandy red color. Right.
There's iron.
Did I cast this toward the right target? I haven't done this before.
Hi.
Oh. You are smaller than I expected. No offense.
She spins her
There's
spoon
a-
in her hand. to get louder.
There's a picture of leaders that you get in your head, and it's usually large, garish, and... No, again, no offense, just not what I expected.
I can pull the giant red
I should hand this to somebody of rank, and it disconnects.
Angel's just gonna sit there and still working on her paperwork because she literally has to finish some of the letters of the parties she's got to go to, and literally setting up the dates and things like that on the other side.
Yeah. The moment you said you wanted to do correspondence, I rolled for the status of the vizier, and it got a nat 1. I'm like, oh, okay.
She's dead, Jim. She's dead, Jim.
And then, you know, she just spun her spoon in her hand. It's just like that little spoon knife thing is just going back and forth in her fingers at the moment while she's trying to write. It's one in the other hand. I'm letting you know she has one of those little knife pens, and she writes viciously with it.
Finally, you get another visage through that scrying orb. It seems to have been set on a pedestal, because what you see is a man just sitting in a chair. Seems to be dark elven, although his skin has this almost like pinkish purplish edge to it, almost as if it's a dark elf getting a suntan.
That's a new one.
Which is not too typical or too common. That said, his robes, they're well made, they're heavy, they're heavily layered, but
What makes
they
sense
are
he was under Sunsmith.
also somewhat filthy. Yeah, Sunsmith or a similar region. But yes, most likely.
I'm letting you know, he catches her right in the middle of writing. This is literally working currently. Oh!
I do hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all. I'm just writing down my schedule.
I am Ilan Bessie.
Nice to meet you, Ilan.
I am the interim vizier, as our previous one was lacking in caution. I say interim because there is a vote that usually happens. Regardless, it says in this letter of correspondence that apparently you were presented with that this is to arrange potentially, meeting of suitors, which means I would have to work through the paperwork to arrange their travel to your city, or vice versa.
They will come here. Is that a question?
So that is a yes.
Meetings of two people in the same area of the Underdark, or in the same Underdark, basically, in this area. Whether or not suitor talks go across, it's nice to know your neighbors.
I do hope that I will get to meet you in person, unless I share the same fate as the previous vizier. We'll see.
I will also like you to remind whoever the higher up on this situation, you're going to be handing suitor talks over with the suitor, but considering you sent the letter straight to me and it didn't go through anybody else, and nobody else takes these calls.
Yes,
because I
he
handle
was
everything
a
myself.
prospective suitor, ironically enough. The corpse now that he is. I will get this sent to the appropriate channels, your response recorded promptly, and before we go through with anything further, is there a particular date in which you would prefer for this to be arranged?
Sooner rather than later.
Okay.
So at your earliest convenience.
Earliest convenience
I
and
do have
reasonable
dates to be
traversal.
in Shihu.
Earliest convenience and reasonable traversal conditions might slate us for... As he starts to look over a calendar momentarily. A week from this day, there should be another meteor shower. Seems appropriate. A visual backdrop to a potential meeting, whether it is fruitful or not.
I would prefer it to not be on the night of a meteor shower. Magic alignments are not something that I am not aware of.
I could put it one day prior, on the 22nd. That would, however, land Yuskia on its last day of a new moon.
We'll be doing it at least 2 days forward from that date.
After. She wants it after.
The 24th. He begins looking over a ledger, looking over to see if there's any concerning dates. I think the 24th we can arrange.
I will let you know these are the forces that will meet you at the door. Should you decide to bring anything inside of the city that is detrimental.
understand.
Let me finish.
Absolutely. New to this position as it is.
The dragons that will greet you at the door, and the hyena that will greet you at the door. Do not piss them off. The spider that you will see on the ceiling is not a threat. It's a promise, should something go wrong in these talks. So I'm just letting you know.
Understood. When approaching the date, we will be expecting a correspondence involving just things to be mindful of in your city. To keep it fresh.
Let's talk now. I don't have time.
Understood. He waves his
Ropers from the
hand
ceiling.
and summoned from arcane ether a bit of parchment as he pulls out a pen.
I'm not going to give you every one of my defenses. That's just stupid.
Defenses, no.
So
Things to be
I'm going to let you know.
mindful of.
Dragon at the front door. Go piss it off.
And to be clear, and I apologize for my phrasing, this is more intent of mannerism and behavior to be expected in your domain.
It's fine. Just making you well aware. The giant blue spider on the ceiling, do not attack it. It just lives there. The ropers that fall from the ceiling are just normal. They live in the normal outside area of our space. The goblins that may be guarding the entire space are now the army, which are part of that situation. So don't piss them off either. Hobgoblins are not fun to fight. Considering their predecessor and their prowess, I would prefer them to not get pissed off. But other than that, I think you should be fine. The city is usually relatively safer now than it used to be. I would stay away from the outer outskirts in the lowest form of the city, in case you want to find yourself in the mouth of something much bigger than I can fight. Or
Understood.
keep you alive from.
Then, as another matter of bookkeeping, at least in regards to our preparation and, well, sorting through prospective suitors from the rabble to the actually promising, at least in what we perceive before we send them in your direction, there is the matter of a rumored concubine.
Say it again.
I apologize if it's an incorrect turn of phrase. Concubine, companion, rumored relation outside of an official
I'm letting
capacity.
you know her eyes turn even further pink straight through that visual, and you can see that slit. Say it again.
I mean no offense nor disrespect. Regarding this matter, and I will refrain from giving it titles, is this yet in any official capacity?
I'd like to know with whom I'm speaking as far as suitors.
You will receive correspondence closer
Not
to
a
the
question.
date.
No. No.
Sorting through the suitors in the first place is something we have to do. Given that you answer yes or no, if you answer no, we don't
And they better
bother
have more
sorting
tact
through
than you.
them.
And they better have more tact than you.
Didn't think I would be doing this
I'd
on my
like you
first
to-
day on the job. No offense.
I'm letting you know the warlords that trained me peeled skin for a living. So I'd like you to use better talking when it comes to who you're talking to. I was cordial until you insulted my paramour.
Paramore. That's the intended title. Thank you. Look, I do deeply apologize. I'm not as well versed in this as I should. It was a very sudden promotion.
I want you to know and let your
Concerningly
suitors
sudden,
know
actually.
that should they
There
They don't
were
want-
4 people my senior that died yesterday that should have gotten this job.
Thank you. You're continuing to talk.
I'm sorry. I'm a nervous sort. I apologize.
That's perfectly fine. I would like you to make any suitor known and aware that they will be competing with a man who has progenied over 100 children. So if they can keep up, they're welcome to try.
He's going to roll an Arcana check. Understood.
Angel's like, I just want the entertainment of my person fighting other men. Nya, 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 nya.
And I'm going to let you know the monsters that you'll find here, and they better have a better backbone than the man I'm talking to right now.
Vast majority of the prospects we will be sorting through are warriors. There are some who will have bought their way in.
I would also like to talk about possible actual arrangements involving strategic trade, which would probably be better for you in the long run. Any type of suitor I might want to have for one of my children or progeny, because I have many.
Are your progeny
they
of
better
age
be.
for this to be a
A
concern?
total of 15 of them are.
That changes the circumstance. And he writes that
Does
down.
change the circumstance. I'm going to tell you right now. They better be worth it.
I'm enjoying listening to Angel just.
I apologize for any awkwardness I've presented in this conversation, though it has been insightful, especially
My
to the
predecessor
intimidating
used-
nature of this job.
I'm going to be as far as the intimidation goes. I'm letting you know the prior warlord taught me how to peel a man 6 ways from Sunday. So I think that you should probably watch when you talk to a warlord how you address them about their other halves.
Understood. Like I said, 4 of my professional seniors died yesterday. I should not have gotten this job. Really shouldn't
And
have.
300 of her lovers didn't make it out of the bedroom.
Mm. Mm.
He opens a ledger and starts going through it. Bach, was that your predecessor?
Yes.
Hmm.
And her father was a piece of work too.
Ah, yes, and she is squarely listed under the do not engage with list. Well, under the pretense of new leadership, I was still instructed to contact you, so I'm assuming that provided an exception.
Akihito, as my father, would have probably provided the exception.
Akihito, he flips through the book. No record of an Akihito that I can see for the region
The leader
of
of the
Shinri.
Whisper.
Flips through the ledger. No record of such a faction either. Which kind of makes sense.
They're supposed to be secret. Keep it secret. Keep it secret.
Oh, I didn't know that they didn't know, considering the whisper would have been something heard of as far as the east, considering where her mother came from.
It seems a
So,
few members of the old guard where you live made a point of not dealing with these people.
I'd like to know why people in my neck of the woods don't want anyone dealing with you.
I haven't had this job for long enough. Let me see if there
Dad's
are any
first day on the
cliff
beach.
notes. You can see he is physically starting to sweat. There's a
I'd
sheen
like
that
to
is
speak to
appearing on his body.
someone. I understand, but you're talking to the leader. I would like to speak to the leader of your situation. You literally have a scry orb. You can walk your happy little butt over there.
I can't, actually. I do not have the authority. I am what is considered a high-ranking messenger. Vizier was a choice title from human languages that we colorfully absconded with. I don't think it's being correctly used. The more this conversation goes by, I really don't think it's being correctly used at all. No offense, I hope that wasn't taken as an offense.
I'm going to give you a little information about the person you're talking to right now. I jumped in a red dragon's mouth about 3 months ago, or at least 2 years ago, and I came out unscathed.
Right, so,
I would like to speak to a leader before I basically go and get the yellow dragon out that I basically took care of, and we'll see with that one how that works.
I understand. I can see what I can And he stops as blood starts to pour from his mouth, and you see slowly a spear tip push through the front of his throat.
Oh. Whoa.
You are making a fool of yourself. I have spared you further embarrassment. You poor buffoon. And the body is lifted at the end of the spear and thrown to the side. As what very clearly appears to be a vampire sits down. Bat wings and everything. Stature, not dissimilar to the dark elf. There are still elven features that are present on the bat-like physique.
Good evening, or good morning.
Good morning would be the closest thing. Sorry about the buffoon. I am not my father, the one who sent out this letter. But
Good to know.
I am good enough of rank to take this correspondence myself. So, you have apparently acknowledged and accepted the conditions of at least a meeting of noble, ranking folk as potential suitors and even potential trade arrangements. Am I correct?
Possibly, yes. I don't make any promises. Trading, yes. Considering what you are, we will have discussion.
Marriages
I'll
without
make that.
romance can also be formed for the sake of political alliance, and they may be treated as a friend with a simple band on their finger, if that suits you better.
Oh, it doesn't.
I figured.
I'm letting you know that one of the baby dragons feeling her uncomfortability is literally crawling down the side of her face.
Fascinating. He picks up the notes that the now dead vizier dropped. It seems we're using the vizier title wrong. begins their drinking promptly. So, we will meet with the additional pretense of trade arrangements.
I
Addition.
can do that.
This means that suitorships must at least be entertained. I do not intend to leave fully
That's up to
empty-handed.
them.
Yes, it is.
And I'm letting you know
A
they're not
subtle
as nice as
smile
I am.
crosses this man's face.
None of my children are pushovers.
No.
And she basically, one of her, I'm letting you know, she mentally summons Kismet out of the necklace.
Ooh, shiny girl.
Even through the scry, you can see part of his skin start to flake off.
So I suggest you keep your manners to yourself.
Understood. Though, and I do hope you do not take offense to this in any sense, I do enjoy a fascination with knowledge, as he almost looks past you before the scry ends on his end. As you look behind you, there's Gabriella just busy sorting through letters.
Griffin,
Yeah.
I know you're busy doing paperwork somewhere in the back over there.
No. I got very distracted with the fucking vampire. Let me be clear, that wasn't Dampier. That was
I know.
whole ass Vlad Dracula shit.
I know.
And apparently he was just the prince.
I know.
And they live in a desert region where one of their people was exposed to sun bad enough that he had sunburn? What the fuck? I mean, he's a dead guy now, but my god.
Griffin's priorities are in the right place.
Guess it makes sense that their fucking insignia is a goddamn
Griffin?
bat, but what the hell? Yeah.
I'm letting you know that I'm letting you know the rage is probably Nicodemus is running through her, and it's probably Navarre. He just mentioned Gabrielle.
Indirectly, they scheduled it for the 24th. Am I correct?
You okay, Joe?
It was a hiccup, literally. Do we want to go through with that, or beginning to pick up on why your dad and your adopted mother really didn't want to fuck with these people?
Oh, and what happens when they walk through my door?
Guess that depends. Depends on who walks through your door.
They'll have to walk through the door, and things that are evil don't make it through the door.
Yeah, my only concern there is, diplomatically speaking, what kind of message does it send if someone is literally dead on arrival?
There wouldn't be a body.
But there may be witnesses.
Would that speak more about me or more about him?
I don't know, I'm just saying. Look, I deal with the city scheduling. I don't fuck with the political miasma.
I need you to give me a reason why I don't scry straight back through and basically burn his entire city to the ground.
It's a question. It's a very good question.
That is a
He was
16-year-old
ballsy
standing
enough to let
behind me.
himself be obviously a vampire and not obscure it. So,
And one look at Kismet had his skin burning off.
could have been an illusion to make you comfortable. I don't know. I'm speculating. Who's ballsy enough to let himself be obviously a vampire, yet be dumb enough to let himself flake off in sunlight when all the people around him are sun? This is okay. There's more questions than answers there.
That's what I keep telling you. It didn't make any sense. But Radiant does do damage in that situation.
It's supposed to anyway. I'm theorizing.
I want everybody on deck the day he arrives.
Understood. I mean, are we assuming that the prince is arriving or that he's not? Did you get a name?
We're going. No.
Okay, well, shit. So that's a yes for the 24th. No
We're going
major.
to put him in a separate house. That way, if he tries to get into my home in the middle of the night, he's going to die.
Yeah, no major
And we will leave
celestial
the windows
events. There's a
open.
couple of crescent moons and a waxing one. So that's just a day.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a reason. I didn't take anything they offered.
Right. Okay. Well, that's weird. Do you want to take a break from the diplomatic letters to see if there's any more freak shows that apparently might want to take a bite out of you?
She basically opens up her letters and looks and see if there's anything left that she has to deal with.
You go to open up your letters and the changeling's hand lands on yours. Lovey, I think it's a little bit time to decompress after that.
I'm going to kill him. With a radiant knife that I make myself.
We don't know if he's
Out of
evil.
my own
Maybe he's
breath.
just a really big dick.
He's eyeing the 16-year-old behind me.
Okay, maybe he's not aware of how old she is.
Well, they're
that was
16.
specified.
They have the children tend to make themselves look a lot younger for Angel's sake.
Not Gabrielle. Gabrielle looks like so
Okay.
older.
Mm-hmm.
That's still not
As much as I
He
hate
doesn't
to
like to
give
be seen
the
as dumb.
creepy vampire boy benefit of the doubt, love. There's more pressing matters, like setting up a theater troupe full of old acquaintances. You know, I mean, that's a little more enjoyable, right?
Yeah, let's get that done.
Yeah.
I can't take this. I am
Yeah,
also going
you
to
know
put
I have a
radiant-
perfect way to clear your head.
No, not yet. This is not time for a quickie.
Who the hell said anything about a quickie?
No. The answer is no. I would rather meet them at the door. They're on their way here. Griffin is already going to pick them up. So we meet that poor small child at the door.
You're no fun. Navarre shut it.
Navarre, I promised you this evening. 6 ways from Sunday, remember? The upside down kind.
Did you hear that? She promised. 6 ways. From whatever the hell a Sunday is.
That's a Griffin saying. I'm just following what I've been told.
Good. Do more of that. Shut the fuck up.
Okay. That's a later problem. Griffin, are they almost here? I know that you sent Tansy to go get them. How
It's gonna be a
good is your
couple
magic
hours.
right now? Okay. Can we just kind of forward for the couple hours until Brick gets here? Because I want to do this until Brick gets here.
Okay.
Oh, Brick. Piper literally needs Brick.
Yeah, no. That's why Violet's waiting.
But that's why we're waiting, because Piper actually literally needs Avery for this.
Well, Violet can do the talking. She needs at least some help on the persuasion.
little bit.
Fast forwarding a couple hours, it's close to their arrival time when your scrying orb lights up again. Different color than what you previously dealt with. Did you do the spell right? I don't know. You're scrying on something. Really big room.
Hi.
Oh
Hi.
shit. There's somebody on the other end. Hi. Who's this?
Who's this?
I don't know.
Who am I speaking to?
You are breaking up a lot. That's the character saying that, not the. Maybe that's my problem. Hold on, let me try to. I do the runes like this, and suddenly you just hear a high-pitched whine.
Like a microphone.
Yeah. Okay, wrong direction. Okay. That was okay. I can't hear out of my left ear now. Great.
Is this a bunch of wizards practicing their scrying?
Wait, hold on. Does this thing have a direction? Let me roll it. And you see this, like, 13-year-old kid in what's clearly an attic going through a dusty and decrepit old book. Didn't realize this was actually a spell book. This is so cool. And also, wait, that means that's a... Oh, I need to talk to Grandma.
Does
Hi.
he look like me? Does he look human?
This kid is a half-orc. So in terms of like in terms of like racial stereotypes, so to speak, within D&D, not the one you'd be expecting to do arcane practice.
No. It's one of those weird moments.
And you can see
Hi?
at 13, you can see those like little nubs of tusks that are just barely poking through and past his lips. And they're not even fully sharp yet. They're like rounded off and just kind of poking through. Hi. You're dark skin. That means, okay, you're either dark elf or an underdark person, or you just dipped your face in ash. Do you clean chimneys?
Do you know where Sharni is?
I've never met a Sharni.
Do you live in the material plane?
Yes.
Do you live in Zaria?
Is that a country I haven't heard of?
No, that's an
Planet.
entire planet.
It's our planet.
It's the ring.
So,
Are you from Terra?
no. I'm, no. Sorry, Okay, so I'm in a place. I live in this place called Neverwinter. Have you heard of it?
Oh my god. You need to put down the orb and go talk to your grandma and tell him where you called
Yeah,
today.
I'm gonna do. How do I turn this thing off? He picks it up and drops it, and then you watch the entire arcane encounter phase a little bit. Oh, no. Oh god, I cracked it. Oh god. Hold on.
She covers the screen on her little orb. There.
And the call
Now
fades.
no one can see. Oh. She goes downstairs for the... Okay.
What the fuck was that? That sounded a
She
little
like-
frantic. I'm sorry, did you get a horny teenager?
There was a child from Neverwinter calling by accident.
From where?
Neverwinter.
So, like, is it always summer? Because that sounds like it sucks.
You know that book that you lent me one time with that Neverwinter print on it?
No. Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess it is multiverse theory, then, like, to be fair. Wow, that's. You know what? If you can remember the frequency that was at, check back in like 20 years, see how that kid's doing.
I don't think that the
See if
orb
they're a mage
forgets.
foolishly going on adventures and losing toes when they put their hand in the wrong box.
I will. But right now, I need to go and check on the people that are on their way here. She gets up and just is like, oh. She goes to the teleportation circle. Is like,
for the sake of easing the transport for the younger ones in the troop, we did do a multi-stage jump, so they're going through a few of them that are shorter distances between each other to avoid as much rippling, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be.
I had the kids make pizzas. She looks over at all of her children who are completely excited they have just gotten covered in flour, and the halflings love the fact that they're teaching.
Oh no. Okay. All right.
They didn't make dessert pizza this time. It's all savory pizza.
Oh, thank God.
But we've had enough time where they have now figured out how to make pizza.
Yeah. Not to mention I helped show them.
Yeah, you did great job. All of them, only 4 of them put pineapple on their pizza like their mom does.
We still need to have a serious talk about that.
I'm sorry,
you
ham
are making some choice decisions that might have devastating consequences on your future and your children's future.
Hey, I'm letting you know those people didn't watch the world burn.
It's gonna do
They
it
just
again
spoke
if
while
you
they
keep
did it.
doing this shit with the pineapple.
Not necessarily. At least my evenings will taste good.
It's for him, not for you.
So
Don't
it
tell me
tastes
you're
good
making a
going
meat.
down and coming out.
Jesus Christ.
So it tastes. She's literally joshing with her brother. And Tansy's probably laughing in the background somewhere. She's right. She's right.
Tansy yells back, "Hey Griffin, you should eat pineapple pizza." You shut your mouth.
At least a pineapple smoothie.
That I can do. Pizza.
All of the kids.
No.
She looks at all of her kids. Everybody needs to take a bath. We have guests coming. I don't want an argument. There is enough bathrooms.
I'm gonna be one of the kids for a minute. Aw, Mom.
I understand flour is, an entire emotional